Heyo! We are live. Welcome to the Trash Picture Show. I am joined by the absolutely brilliant and absolutely gorgeous Jen's Reviews from the Grave.
Hi guys.
And we are talking about what
Don't
I
Breathe 2.
call, yes, a problematic trailer and a problematic potential plot. Jen, you watched this and what did you think of the trailer for Don't Breathe
Oh,
2?
I'm very interested. I think I'm like with you and everybody else. How are we going to do this? Because basically, the plot line of the trailer is making him look. It's Taken. You've said it, and other people have said it. It looks like Taken, and he's going to be the anti-hero. And giving what happened in the past movie, that could be a little problematic. It depends on how they handle it, though. But I thought it looked pretty good. But I'm really curious as to how they're going to do this. And they can either
Yeah.
fail or they can make it really good.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting. Spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't seen the first movie. Myself and Jen are going to be talking. So if you haven't seen the first movie, shut this off. Our viewership will probably drop like a fucking stone. But shut this off if you haven't seen First Don't Breathe, because we're going to get into it. So the trailer, the Don't Breathe 2 trailer, essentially turns Stephen Land's The Blind Man into an anti-hero, kind of Punisher-esque, kind of Liam Neeson-esque. Hey, Tokyo Ghoul, hey, or Tokyo Ghoul, what Tokyo Ghoul? Fucking sorry, dude. I'm trying to keep an eye on 2 days. So it turns the Blind Man into, as you said, Jen, a Liam Neeson Taken-esque kind of character.
I would say so.
The problem I have is, hey, Trenchy's watching as well. Hey, Trench.
Hi, Trenchy.
The problem I have, a lot of people have, and I think Jen might have, although Jen might surprise me. Jen's like fucking well-rounded, and she's not as narrow-minded as my fuckhead Irishness. But the problem is, how do you make an anti-hero out of a rapist? And I've seen people in the comments going, well, it's only a turkey baster. It's like,
that isn't what I would say. I would not say it's because of the turkey baster. Okay, how we would make him an anti-hero as opposed to a rapist is, I think that he is like an anti-hero because we have to look at the first movie. We really do. We really have to look at the first movie. And he is a person. The first movie really reminds me a little bit of Pet Sematary and Louis Creed, because he is a person who has he's had the most imaginable loss you can have. And yeah, it's easy to sit on a pedestal if your kids are fine and say, okay, it's a horrible thing, but you got to get through it, maybe find another child that needs you. But you don't know until you go there what's going to happen to you. And I think that he has just literally been broken. And there was a line that he kept repeating in the first movie saying, there is no God. If there was, this wouldn't happen. And I think that it's showing how broken he is. And once you lose your faith, whatever religion you are, if you lose your faith and hope in humanity, all bets are off. And I think he just looks at it as he is trying to balance the scales. Like he's like, she got off, the woman that killed her daughter, or his daughter, got off and didn't have to, no consequences whatsoever. And he's like, okay, I'm going to right this wrong. And it reminds me of Louis Creed in Pet Sematary, because he's like, you want to fix it. It's human nature to fix it, especially when it comes to your kids. Like, no holds barred when it comes to your kids. So, I'm going way too.
No. That's but you make a good point, and I never realized it. Like, again, his actions are inexcusable, but driven to such a circumstance, like he's lost his sight, and then he lost a loved one. Like, to be pushed
it's the most unimaginable loss you can have, Yeah. And I can't even. As a parent, you can't go there. You can't go there. And, you would think you can do this, but until you're in that situation, you don't know what it is. And I think he just looks at it like, this is justice. This is how I can't bring her back, but I'm going to get another child. It's maybe not the way most of us would have gone through it, but it's a way.
Like, I watched the movie there not too long ago, but you might have a better memory. Was it actually the woman that ran over his daughter he had in the fucking in the basement. I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
That doesn't even justify. Again, there is a level of insanity to this.
That's a very good word. That it's insanity. You're fucking
It's
gone.
sheer insanity. I mean, the guy is literally, he is a captive in darkness, and he has no fucking connection to humanity, dare I say.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's
it's just fucking. It's like again, I'm almost on the cusp of seeing it eye to eye with you, Jen. You are making some fucking valid, fantastic points, and you do have opened another avenue. But I just don't know if
I'm
that.
not
Go
saying
on.
what he does is right. Like, but on the, especially like dealing with some of the subject matter, dealing with, I have a perspective on that, but I also have to look at it from a parent's point of view. And I don't necessarily, I can't say I condone what he does, but I also can't say I can say I understand it. As a parent, I can understand. I wouldn't hopefully go that route, but again, until you're in that situation, I just don't think you can judge but I can understand how it happens.
Like,
I'm
I
not giving him a pass
no
necessarily,
no
but
no
I
no.
can.
I know you're not. In no way am I suggesting that you're condoning what happened. You're simply looking at it as a leeway to how this guy might be kind of nudged into the audience perspective as a hero, as someone who is to a point, and I mean a very fucking minute point, a sympathetic individual. Like
Yeah,
you could tick a couple of boxes in the first movie. They broke into his house. Uh,
exactly.
they were going to fucking kill him.
Mhm.
They,
Very
it,
people under the stairs and the other one I can't think of it, but very people under the stairs and those kind of movies because it's a home
yeah,
invasion movie. They're invading
right.
his home.
Yeah, it's a home invasion movie, and it's a kind of urban fucking legend, gothic kind of thing that like this shit goes on in a suburban area. Like that's kind of creepy. Like you like there is like, but
The
one
Collector.
can't
That's the other
deny.
one.
Yeah.
The Collector.
Oh, sorry, Jen.
I'm sorry. I just was gonna say The Collector. It just came to me. The Collector is
Yeah,
another
the
movie.
collector. Like
Mhm.
one can't do not do comparisons to the likes of Joseph Fritzl,
Mhm.
or the Mexican guy who had like he had children with a girl he'd kidnapped and held for 15 years. I forget her name.
Yeah, I know who
Uh,
you're talking about.
but
And what's really genius about the movie is that every character we meet in this movie has their backs against the wall. Now, Stephen Lang definitely has the most reason to be disconnected with reality and humanity, but our characters do too. They're not necessarily bad people. They're trying to make their circumstances better the best way they know how, and they've got their backs to the wall. So I love that it's not so black and white. Like you can look at these characters all through gray. There's some good in them. There's some bad in them. Now Stephen Lang is the hardest one to do, but I do have sympathy for him. I actually do have a little sympathy. And he never got to do what he probably would have if he could have, but he didn't
yeah,
get to use the turkey baster.
that fucking scene, like I was all right until that single pube came into focus, and I was like, "Oh, you fucking dirty bastard!" Um, like and the slow motion. Fiat Alvarez done a fantastic thing where Gene Levy is hanging there,
Mm-hmm.
and when your man from 12 Things, or that other kind of the TV show about the girl's suicide. I forget the Trenchy, if you know the dude
13
from that
Reasons Why. 13
13
Reasons Why.
Reasons Why. He comes in, he saves her, and just it's like the look of relief, and kind of just as she's dropping to the mattress, as she's released from the harness, and just it's like she literally just surfaced from the water after nearly drowning, and that's like that is just so disconcerting that she came that close. And like when she just fucks the turkey baster and I was like, I had no sympathy for him then. Like the fact he kept the one girl down there, and then he was going to do the same to Jane Levy. That's where I had sympathy up until a point, but when that happened, yeah.
As a man, can you how do you look at it? Like, as a man, can you sort of go, okay, the guy has a really good story to, as to why he's doing this. It's not condoning it, but could you give him a pass?
Again, the empathy, I can understand it, but it's the rawest of violations. It's like
it is. It is. Yeah, but he tells her, I'm not a rape. That's an interesting line in the movie, too. I'm not a rapist. And he tells the girl, I'll let you go once you give me a baby. Again, it's really right on the borderline. Now, it's not right. I'm not saying it's not right, but it's on, like, in his mind, I can see how he's justifying it, especially in a broken mind. And his mind is pretty broken. And he's, not only has he had to deal with the loss of his daughter, but you get the feeling that he has a lot of trauma from his wartime, too. So we're already dealing with kind of a fragile psyche. And again, not condoning what he did, but I can sort of see how maybe if they handle it right in this movie, he seems to be very taken with this little girl in the second movie. The trailer shows that he seems to be very taken.
It's going to be like skirting a line. I've had other people go, well, this is not new. Arnie went from a bad guy in Terminator 1 to Terminator 2. Mm-hmm. The Terminator never attempted to rape anyone. That's where I'm at. Like,
I get what you're saying, but I think in his mind, he just looks at it as he's a person that justifies the ends or the means through the ends. And to him, this is just sort of, I think in his mind, he thinks this is evening the scales. He's going to get a child that was taken away from him. And then the first girl that he had, in the cellar, she caused the death, and she was a rich girl and she didn't have, to do any consequences. And that's also commentary on, a social commentary. Sometimes people who have a little bit more money, things go a lot more smoother for than someone who's down on their, like some of our other characters in the movie who are a little down on their luck and, struggling to just make ends meet.
Yeah, you are right. There are so many factors. And again, you pointed it out. This is not a black and white situation. These characters are not black and white characters, including the blind man. It's gray. There's motivations from things. Yeah. Full Moon says the level of his desperation and isolation from society broken too. Yeah, that's essentially what Jen is saying, dude. You're dead right on that point. It's just he's broken. Trenchy also makes a good point. The Terminator was a robot and was reprogrammed, a very different thing. It's just I don't know how I'm going to feel watching this movie. It's like hey, he's like Matt Murdock, but he's a rapist. He's like fucking Daredevil.
Does it make you uncomfortable to see scenes with him with the little girl, considering what he was willing to do in the first movie?
I
like an icky feeling?
I am going to feel disconcerted. Like, maybe they do a twist where he turns out to be an asshole and he's keeping the little girl till she's 18. Maybe
I don't get that from it, but possibly you could be possibly right. I like, it looks like the new people he's going after with the little girl, they look even more vicious than he was in the first movie to me. I get the feeling that it's a very, very vicious people he's dealing with.
The only other thing, and again, it's the whole fucking, that whole scene just absolutely puts a fucking doorstop to me thinking that he could be an anti-hero. But the only thing I can think is if I don't know if any guys out there read Punisher or Punisher Max comics, Garth Ennis writes fantastic Frank Castle, and the Punisher is horrible. He's a horror in the Max comics. Frank fucking he chops off guys' dicks. He fucking tears out their jaw. He shoves their faces into a fucking boiler. But he can get away with it because Garth Ennis, the way he writes the story, Frank is a monster, but the guys he pits Frank against are absolute fucking pieces of shit from the bowels of hell. So that's how you do it. If your character's a monster, you have to pit them against the most deplorable pieces of shit imaginable. That's the only way I think that could get around. But still, Jen, it could be like it could be like a computer booting up and it'll be at 99%, but that 1% is going to fucking still be at the back of my mind if you get me. Like,
I get it. I get it. I mean, it is. He was willing to violate a woman. You know, maybe not in the normal sense that most men would do it, and he has reasons as to why he's doing it. But it's still a horrifying thought that But it's again, he's gone. He's lost all humanity. He does not have any faith. He thinks that the world is just shit, and he's going to even the score, and it's due to him. I get the feeling like he feels that this is owed to him. This is what he's going to fix it. He really reminds me, I keep thinking, and I know I keep repeating this point, he really reminds me of Louis Creed just going completely over the moon, like just completely in gaga land, and like, it's going to work, I'm going to fix it, this is going to make everything better, it's going to be awesome. And I think in his mind he doesn't see the damage he's causing and the monster he's becoming. So I don't know.
Okay, say the next movie ends. He kills all the bad guys and rescues the little girl and lives with the little girl, and their story is like, quote unquote, happily ever after. Would you be satisfied?
No, because I wouldn't. I don't know what this movie's going to bring, but I think there's more to it than we're being showed in the trailer, and which is a good thing, because a lot of trailers now show too much. I like the fact that it's very ambiguous, and we're all wondering, like, okay, how are we going to fix this? How are we going to make this guy who was practically a rapist into the guy we're cheering for and going, yay? I think there's going to be more to this, but as far as me liking a happy ending, I don't know. I think that this is a story that could go really deep, and you could do a lot of twists and turns. That seems a little too simplistic, I guess, is what my problem would be if we got this standard happy ending. It would just be, we've been there and done that with other movies.
If he died saving the little girl, then maybe
that would be a redeeming character arc, because he loves the little girl more than anything. And as a parent, see, that's another thing. When you're a parent, your mortality, when it comes to you or your kids, it's not so scary when it's between you or your kids. You will give up your life without a second thought if it'll save one of your kids. And that would be a redeeming character arc for him if he went that way.
Yeah.
So that would actually be a better.
It's just, for me, the character. I like the character.
I do too.
I like character first. For me, this feels like someone turning a really cool machine gun into a defibrillator. I don't know how that'll work. Like, you get what I'm saying, right? This is a cool slasher-esque bad guy, and it's like, even take away, like, again, I'm sorry, I know I'm kind of pushing it hard, like, but no. Like, the latter part of the movie, he does get very vicious, and it is. I do think that they had the potential to make a really good kind of slasher villain, like a newer slasher villain like Art the Clown or the Collector. But they just seem to be doing an absolute U-turn, and that boggles me.
I get that, but we don't know. Maybe they'll surprise us. But to me, I would go with more the story of him dying to save the little girl. But again, we've been there and done that. But I would prefer over them living, and he got her away from the bad guys, and they lived happily ever after. I would prefer, given the two options, I would rather see him die. But I see what your point is. Like, we made such a cool villain in the first one, and now we're declawing him and just kind of, what are we doing, people? It's almost like you wonder if it should have just left it alone.
Again, I'm going hard in the analogies, but it's like, and the newest member of the DCEU is Art the Clown. It's like, the fuck, Superman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Art the Clown. It's like,
well, he could be.
Just fucking
I'd be down for that.
Bisecting Harley Quinn with a fucking chainsaw. What the fuck?
I'd be down for that myself.
Batman's the only one going, I don't like this clown. You don't like any fucking clowns, you dickhead. Give him a chance. You know?
What if he wrecks it though? Like, what if, say, he does get him away from the bad guys, and somehow he's taking care of the little girl, and somehow his monstrous side destroys what he has with the little girl. Like, she'll look at him in a different way, and that could be an interesting turn too. Or he could just do something that would totally shatter. Because you see that there's a bond between them in the trailer, and it's a very strong bond, and it seems to be the only thing that's putting his foot in front of the other. And that could be an interesting twist too, if they make him do something just horrid, not wanting to hurt the little girl, not on purpose necessarily, but just something happens where he totally fucks it up.
There's another thing in the trailer that I think is going to be played back later on, where she's like, you think he's chasing her, and it's like they're training to get the gun. He goes, I got the gun off you. I think there's going to be a scene where that's paid off, where she has to get the gun before he does, and use it against him. Maybe. I don't know.
Another interesting thing could be is, what if she turns into a monster? You know, by association, because you learn what you kind of pick up what you see around you, and kids do. And what if she turns into a monster because she sees what he's done and it taints her? That could be like the worst thing for him too. She could become a monster.
Wouldn't it be cool if there was a crossover? Who was that little girl that killed Kevin James and his bad guys?
Oh God. I know Becky, right? Becky.
Yeah, Becky versus the blind man. That'd be cool. That reminds me to Watchmen. The comedian is a killer and a rapist, full on horrible person, but he still sees himself as a hero. He's universe justice obsessed with Rorschach, respects it. Yeah, but that's in the universe of the comic. This is asking the fucking audience. At no point did we think that fucking the comedian was a good guy. We know that he was a piece of shit. Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Oh, yeah, Toku, you're dead right. It would be like if Mick from Wolf Creek went up against human traffickers. It's a weird one. Oh, sorry, Jen. What?
Oh no, I was just saying that could be very interesting, like just to have the little girl become a monster, and and it ruining the only thing good in his life. That sort of has a poetic, probably a pretentious, but poetic kind of ring to it, of destroying the one thing that you risked everything to have in your life, and you're poisoning it essentially. That could be kind of interesting.
Like the thing is, the other thing is, okay, so these guys are going after, like, I don't know, but I get a theory that her mother's killed in the trailer.
Yeah, I get that too.
Does the child witness it, or are these guys the other thing I'm wondering, are these guys bounty hunters? Are these guys
I'm wondering that myself. I don't know what they are. Like, they seem to be very interested in the little girl, but they also seem to be very interested in Stephen Lang, because there's a thing in the trailer where they say, we know who you're not. And, and she's standing next to him. And I'm like, they seem to be, it's more after him than the girl. Like, the girl is just a means to get him, is kind of what I got.
But the flip side though, well, I know they set fire to the house and they render him unconscious and leave him for dead. But why didn't they just fucking shoot him in the head if he was? I don't know.
Because maybe they have some sort of personal grudge, and it's too easy. Killing someone might be too easy. To really make them suffer, hit them where they live. Yeah.
Trenchy reckons it's a prequel. I don't know, how. Still though, we still got the whole fucking events of this movie. So is it going to explain why he's a rapist? I don't like him.
In his mind, he's not a rapist. That's the thing. Now, I'm not saying he isn't a rapist, but in his mind, he doesn't. He's just.
Oh yeah, no. Again, I'm 100% on board with what you're saying. I'm just saying, us as the audience, what tricks are they going to do to go, oh yeah, hey, forget about that shit that happened in the first movie, or that shit that happened in the first movie isn't that bad.
He just wanted a baby.
I was gonna fucking joke and say maybe he should have just kidnapped a child, but would that have been worse?
Depending on whose child it is. If it was a child that didn't have anybody, but I think the thing is with him is he wants something. He wants his blood. He
Yeah.
wants another daughter. In a way, he's kind of like reincarnating his daughter that died. It's kind of how I take it. I could be totally wrong, but that's kind of how I take it. It's
No,
like
the other thing is like what you were saying earlier on. He's in a dark place, but maybe he also is like, I don't ever want anyone to go through what I went through, so I'm not going to kidnap someone else's kid. I'm
that
not
makes
going to.
that's a good point.
Sean says, why didn't they follow the first film with him going after the survivor girl? I don't know.
I like to think she took her little sister and is living in California somewhere.
Just fucking, you know.
Also,
I'd
are
be
they going to
interested.
kill the dog? Because it looks like they're going to kill the dog, and I don't want that.
No, I like that's a vicious fucking dog, but I don't want to. Again, the other thing I'm liking, and it would have been cool if the other movie didn't exist. This is the best Old Man Frank comic book movie never made. I don't know. Again, I'm going back to the Punisher. This would have been the best fucking like, because there was like a couple of comics with like, although Frank is in his fucking 60s or 70s now, but like it's Frank and he's living in the post-apocalypse and he's got a dog and he's like
Yeah.
fucking killing mutants and fucking monstrous mutants, not fucking the X-Men or anything like that. And it's just a badass. Again, that would have been cool. Like
Yeah.
the way Christ, The Purge 2 was the best Punisher movie never made.
Yeah.
No, I am with you. I don't want anything to happen to the dog. Kill as many people as you like, but don't kill the dog.
Yeah, he's a vicious dog, but in the trailer it also shows the little girl, it's her pet. It's like a little baby, even though it's a Cujo with most everybody else.
Yeah.
But I hope
like,
not. I didn't like that. I got that vibe in the trailer.
He should just ring up fucking John Wick and get him to fucking.
Really?
Well, go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say that this is just I'm curious as to what we're gonna do. Do you think there's gonna be another one? Do you think this is gonna be like a franchise where we could continue to a third, or would you want there to be a third?
I don't think so, unless they do something absolutely groundbreakingly phenomenal to redeem this character and to entice me into seeing a follow-up. No. And don't get me wrong, I adore Stephen Lang. He was one of the best elements in the Avatar movies. He was cool in Terra Nova. He's a great that kind of tough guy actor. He's
Wasn't
always
he in
playing
Tombstone
generous.
too? He was in Tombstone. Wasn't he in
Yeah,
Tombstone too?
he was one of the cowboys in Tombstone. He's like the men who stare at goats. He was funny in that. He's a great actor, and I kind of bummed out that they fucking got Josh Brolin to play Cable in Deadpool 2 because he's already fucking Thanos. But yeah, they should have given fucking Stephen Land the role of fucking Cable in Deadpool 2. I couldn't help but think of Cujo. Yeah, he's very Cujo like. Yeah, like I don't know, Jen. What's your theory? How do you think they're going to work this movie?
I'm hoping they're gonna surprise me, but I'm kind of thinking we're just gonna get like a really cool, because again in the trailer it shows all of him doing what he does. He's a blind man, but he can do better than people who can have two good eyes to see. He and I think I get the feeling we might be going for a Taken route, and like I think we might be getting a happy ending, which I'm not.
You can't give that guy a happy. He can't get a happy ending. He can't, because that will undermine. If there is any redemption done, that will undermine what happens in this. I just. Oh, Christ.
You just can't get past the turkey baster.
I can't get past the turkey baster. It's just. Am I making a mountain out of a molehill
No,
with this?
because again, I can have sympathy for this guy, and it's a parent thing in me. But on the other hand, looking at it from another point of view that I've had to experience, I'm like, it's a violation, and yes,
Yeah,
he's in his mind he justifies it, but it's a violation, and I mean, in every sense of the word, and that's a horrible thing, and. No matter what kind of backstory you have or what reason, it's
there's
you
no
just can't
excuse.
go there. Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
excuse. There's no excuse. I can have sympathy for you, but I can still, on the other hand, no. I mean, it's a violation, and he's going to let her go and just give him a baby, but to her, she has to carry this child. She's violated. I mean, it's a heavy psychological toll. Like,
yeah.
you got to also have sympathy for the victims, even though it never went through fruition. It's still a heavy toll, and just even
Again,
women that are attempted to be raped can be just as traumatized as women that actually are raped.
again, that scene of Jane Levy falling from the harness is like she's like, oh, thank Christ, thank Christ. It's just like just
Mm-hmm.
again, it's like someone who's just after resurfacing. For me, again, I can't even put myself into that fucking predicament. But
Mm-hmm.
to me, it looked like she just had resurfaced after coming this close to drowning.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I get that. I
I
get that.
they are definitely pushing the kind of taken vibe. They're also doing a kind of Zatoichi and
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil thing where he's surrounded with water and he's using the vibration. I thought that was cool. I just you've gone and sabotaged a really cool horror character, and you've also sabotaged what could have potentially been a really cool fucking action character. Fuck it, he has a twin brother who's also blind, who's a good guy. I don't know. It's just you're
It,
pissing over one
I
good
get
franchise and one potentially good franchise.
To me, it's sort of like if we take Mick Taylor from Wolf Creek, and all of a sudden he's baking cookies and getting all the children. It's like, no, this is
Yeah,
wrong. I get what you're coming from.
yeah.
I get it.
Trenchy says, yeah, if the trailer still made him look like a villain and just had him fighting these guys in a brutal battle of villains without little girl, it may have been better. Yeah, maybe just if it was a bunch of bounty. If Jane Levy was like, here's fucking 40 grand. I want you to kill a lad who fucking tried to fucking baste me like a fucking Thanksgiving turkey. Go fucking kill the cunt. I would have been okay with that. But again, they're trying to make him this kind of protector character. After what he's done, you can't get a happy ending. It would be a big middle finger to Perku. Exactly, Toku. You're dead fucking right. The Good Twins, the way the AC soap opera. Joe, that would be more applicable to me than this. Again, Jen's like, this fucking dude's taking this to heart too much.
No, I watched the movie twice like in the recent days just to get prepared for this, and I've been thinking of it too. But again, there's just a part of me that can kind of understand, and I'm not giving him a pass necessarily, but I also see that this is really hurting the franchise because we are kind of taking away from what it doesn't seem to be an authentic character of what his first incarnation
Yeah,
is, if that makes sense.
yeah. It's again, you're taking a slot. You're taking it's like taking Jason Voorhees and putting him in the Avengers. It's like,
Mm-hmm. It's just the wrong thing, dude.
yeah,
It could also be interesting if, like, if I guess, what if the villains of this story kill the little girl, and he just has to? Would there be enough of a meat just for him to go after and make them pay? And already a damaged psyche, just going over already been over the edge, and now it's going over the edge again. That might be kind of interesting. I don't know.
maybe, maybe, but like again, you're essentially getting the old kind of thing, evil versus evil. So who do you root for? Well, I suppose, yeah, the little girl's been killed, so no, fucking let this animal loose and let him fucking do what he does best. Maybe, yeah. I, I just again, I'm like booting up, and I'm like 89% there, but I'm just back of the
I
old fucking
I
computer.
get that. I get that. I don't. I think a lot of people are like that. They just can't get past it. And I get your point. I see both. I see the problem with me is I see both sides of this, and that never
But
gets you anywhere.
that's no, hold on. That's why I brought you on, because you're not fucking Captain Tunnel Vision here. You've got scope and you've got range, and that's why you do fucking fantastic reviews. You're open to possibilities, and I also wanted the perspective of someone of the opposite gender, and
Mhm.
and like the thing is, the fact is, you are a woman, but you can see non-biasedly the what this character may be going through and why that makes him potentially an anti-hero, not a good
Mhm.
guy now, an anti-hero, and that's
Yeah.
that I like that. That's like I like that kind of dichotomy. Um, Trenchy says because you can root for a villain without making him a hero. Look at the Firefly family; they're still brutal killers and rapists. That's never hidden, but Jesus, that changed quickly. But never hidden, but they just have fun characteristics in the family bond. Still, though, they didn't try and rescue a fucking child, and it wasn't trying to. I don't know about that.
Yeah. But they do show, like, even with the fire, I guess that's the interesting thing. Even monsters can show a different side, and good guys can be complete. Look, think of the woman where the monster was the guy that in the suit and tie, and this feral cannibalistic woman is the hero of the story. So I find that interesting. I love the layers of people and how nothing is ever black and white. I find that an extremely compelling subject.
I just want to acknowledge a comment, and I don't know if you can see it there. Jen, I am so sorry about that. And yeah, that's another thing that like I've been thinking about at the back of my head. Can you see that comment?
I can't see the comment. What was it?
Jennifer says she's essentially a child of rape. Her mother
Mhm.
was kidnapped and raped, and because of this movie, it's bothering her a lot.
I
So,
cannot. I understand that, Jennifer. I totally get where you're coming. Oh, I don't get where you're coming from because I'm not you, but yeah, I understand as much as anyone
um,
can.
yeah, no, that's something I think the director should have fucking taken into perspective as well. Um, like again, I it's just it's just a bad idea all around unless they execute it in a particularly
Do
it's
you
going to
think
be a movie that
do
they're
you think
going
they're
to
going
have.
to be capable of executing it in a way that will be
Fied
that we won't call
Alvarez
bullshit?
Fied Alvarez is a competent director,
Yeah.
and he can fucking he is competent and he is a good director, and like I just don't know in this day and age though, is there any fucking leeway that will pass? I mean, Jen, I wouldn't be shocked if this movie ended up on VOD
It could.
or streaming. Yeah.
It could very well. It could. I'm going in. I'm hopeful, but I'm not going in with super high expectations. I'm hoping it'll really blow me away. And sometimes they can, but sometimes they can't. And this is a really heavy, tricky subject matter. And like you
Yeah.
said, it just isn't the authentic one of the first one. Just not his brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking. I don't know. Again, like Jennifer Tochi there brought it up. It's like there is going to be that demographic that is going to find it.
Yeah.
They won't be able to find it. It's.
And they have every right to feel that way. I've had some experience with this, not the same thing as Jennifer, but I've had some experience too, so I can understand it from that point of view too. I can. But it's just I can see where you want to be sensitive to these people, but you want to tell a compelling story. It's a very fine line to walk. It's a very fine line to walk. But anyone who feels like this is too far, who has experienced something like that, has every right to feel that way.
Oh
I
yeah,
get that too.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, no, look, the movie will come out. It's going to be interesting if it's. I feel it's going to get savaged by the critics, rightly or wrongly so.
What about the fans?
I love the first movie. I don't know, like, unless they do something incredibly fucking intelligent or clever,
Mhm.
I can't see this working. At the least, they have to kill this guy at the end of the movie. They have
Yeah,
to.
I
They
would
have
feel
to.
I would feel very cheated if he gets a happy ending because I think that's just no. Even for Hollywood, that's too far. It's more true to life if he doesn't have a happy ending, and not necessarily he has to die, but he has to, maybe it's the little girl that pays. Sometimes it's the most innocent that pays for the sins, and that's again, I don't.
Yeah, it's like maybe little girl dies and the dude just goes on a fucking suicide mission and just
Yeah.
kills himself but kills everyone.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, although there's going to be a lot of depressed people leaving the fucking side. And people say Alien 3 was fucking bad. Fuck you.
Well, you see,
Uh,
you picked the wrong person because the depressing endings are kind of Jen's thing.
uh, um, Trenchy makes a good point. He's surprised there isn't that much backlash. Well, the thing is, when the first movie, not many people have heard of the first movie. I think it's mainly a horror community. It's a very niche flick in the horror community, and even less of them, I think, know about the sequel to this.
Yeah.
Like,
And how many
there's
years has it been? How many years has it been since the first one was released?
2017,
Yeah.
maybe.
So it's been a while.
I
It's
think,
been a while.
I think,
Or
I
2016.
think
I think it's
since
2016. I think it was 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Um, Full Moon says the critics are going savage no matter what. The fans, on the other hand, I can't really, you can't really tell the real fans are going to be forgiven or not. Hey, Jen, you said it when we were chatting about this earlier on as well.
Hmm.
We're only going to know when the fucking tin is out in celluloid. Yeah, albeit on our TV or in a fucking cinema. Yeah, I'm going to switch gears and I am going to hand the reins over to Jennifer. Jen, what have you got planned? 2016. Yeah, Jen was right. You were right about that. What have you got planned for Shark Month?
Shark Week, yes. When Christian, hopefully, now
Shark Week.
this is like a tentative thing, but he's hopefully coming home this coming week, like sometime in the late week, and we're gonna jump on Shark Week. We have a whole bunch of movies. They're gonna be fun. They're gonna be movies. I think you know about one of them.
I know about one. And oh my god, I feel so fucking sorry for you. Jesus Christ.
You want to come over for a movie night? I know you love that particular movie. I'll make popcorn.
Can you soak the popcorn in whiskey? Just like just fucking
I'll
whiskey.
I'll find a recipe on Pinterest. I'm sure I can do something for you.
Fucking make me some hooch and stuff. Yeah, so that's no, that's pretty cool. Any other kids? Horror hangouts.
Oh
This
yes,
Monday, right?
yeah. Monday night, we're both of us, and hopefully Christian and Monty G and Sean Patrick Erskine will all be there. The gang will all be there, and hopefully
Also,
Sparky will be home.
yeah, fingers crossed. I miss him
Mhm.
and he's sexy hair. Your son has the nicest hair. Also, guys, if you get a chance, check out Sean Erskine has a new T-shirt
Mhm.
launched. If you can, check that out. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. And
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
great
yeah, yeah,
shirt.
yeah.
It's a great
I
shirt.
I I haven't ordered mine yet because I fucking postage and shit. It's a pain in the arse. But I don't know. I might get one further down the line. Well,
Yeah.
I might have to lose a pound or two first when I like have it at the gym working out, you know. But what else? What else? Not much else. Big thanks to everyone who's dropped in to watch us. I know it's fairly short. It was just kind of impromptu. Thanks to Toku, dude. You're a legend. Full Moon. Jen, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for
Soulless
having me.
Trench Coat. Oh, well, you as well, but Jennifer Tochi, I was saying in the chat. But yeah, I'm glad you came because you gave the place, you gave the stream a bit of glamour. They're not like, oh, not this fuckhead again. Not like this mutant again is live. I got someone actually really nice to be on the stream with me this evening. So I'm really happy. You don't have to look at my ugly mug. That's what I'm happy about.
Hopefully
But
I
yeah,
didn't turn the stream to a giant trash fire.
oh, yeah, hey, I bathe in trash fires, okay, my dear. But yeah, no. If any guys are watching this and you haven't checked out Jen's reviews from the grave, why the fuck not? What's wrong with you? Are you fucking insane? Are you doing?
I do get naked on streams. I do occasionally get naked on streams.
Well, there. That's the reason.
Not to toot my own horn or anything, and I don't do it all the time. It's not a crutch. It's just every once and then you feel like getting naked.
Yeah. No. Look, I'm not saying that Jen might have an OnlyFans or anything like that. I'm just simply saying that it might be worth looking at. Fuck that. No. Jen, I'm fairly sure you're lucky. You probably have a really nice fella looking after you, and he's probably mad about you. I'd say so anyway. But yeah, if he is, he's a fucking lucky bastard. Anyway, I'm going to end the broadcast here because I gotta hop over to Nightwatch's stream. We're reviewing AVPR again. Yay! But again, check out Jen's reviews from the grave. Seriously, she may or may not be clothed. Hopefully clothed, because
you never know.
You never know. You never know.
And I'll get naked when my son's birthday too. I break it out for special occasions.
Remember, guys. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool. Thanks for everyone coming. And Jen, thank you for coming to my stream. You're an absolute legend, and you're a darling. And I gotta have you on more because you're fucking awesome. And yeah, Jennifer Tochi, thanks a million. Full Moon, thanks a million. Trenchy, thanks a million. Toku, thanks a million. Sean, thanks a million. All you guys, thanks a million. Ye are legends. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.